Well, hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to talk about the Herta. Not that Herta, not this Herta, not that one, the Herta. Which is actually kind of ironic they have the Herta, but we roll with it. We're going to talk about her full E0 kit, her traces, her light cone, and her islands. So basically everything you need to know about the Herta, but do not follow the disclaimer. Her kit can definitely be slated to change, buff, or nerf because there should be one more version of the beta before 3.0 comes out, so take this information with a grain of salt. And also don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel because that just shows YouTube that my content doesn't suck. And hey, it's free. Who doesn't love free stuff? Am I right? Alright, that's enough whoring myself out and wasting your time. We should begin. The D-Herta is a 5-star ice erudition character that mainly functioning as a DPS. She has a basic attack, but you will never use this, so it's not even worth mentioning, but it hits a single target and deal ice damage. Then you got her skill, which you mainly will be using because one, it does AoE damage, but hit 3 times in that instant. First 2 will be blast, then the third hit will be AoE. But not like Rapper, it's more like it actually is that one hit. Which I really like a lot what they're doing for erudition characters because it doesn't lock them away from only just being good in pure fiction, just makes them good in MLC and possibly apocalyptic shadow as well. But another effect the skill does is apply enemies with these specific stacks that we'll get to in the Herta talent because these stacks will be very important to understand her because it's a big portion of her kit. So off rip, when you enter battle, Herta will just apply these stacks to the enemy, and each stack you apply to the enemy, you get additional damage points that will increase Herta's enhanced skill, which is on her ultimate, which I'll get to in a bit. And to get more of these stacks, you just have to continuously use Herta's skill to build up more stacks on the enemy. And luckily for Herta, she's not the only character on your team that can build up stacks to build up Herta damage. Because if any character in your party also in the path of erudition, being like 4-star Herta, Vault, Jade can help her to build up her stack because for the stack can stack up to 42 times, so a hefty amount. So it's pretty good. And on those 2 erudition kits, which you'll need because she get a lot of benefits from that because she's an emanator, which all emanator does, except for genuine. Give him a Sunday and he's chilling. Also, cool thing about this as well, all the stacks to obtain from applying to the enemy get prioritized to either elite or boss. So in combat, you mainly see like bosses and elite enemies have like a high number of these stacks, which is actually really cool to see and really helps out with her stuff. So with that out to the way, now we can get the ultimate cut. Now, based on how much stack she has on the enemy when you use the ultimate, she gains all the stack and launch an attack that blasts all the enemies. It's a pretty cool animation too, but what also it does after you use the ultimate, her attack can increase by 80%, so that's a lot of attack. And then after using the ultimate, she immediately take action and consume her stacks. After 2 times enhancing her skill, that lasts for 2 times you use it. And that's multiply is absurdly high because if you look at the screen, 80% of one stack that can stack up to like 42% can do 80 damage per stack. Like that is insane. Alright by that, she's looking pretty promising on her main DPS, but it continues. Her technique increased her attack by 40% while also giving when she entered battle 25 stack offer up to the enemies, so that's pretty nifty to have. It also has a secondary effect, the way if you're in the maps anywhere, it can locate 3 common treasure chests, so if you're missing treasure chests, you have a topaz if you don't have trees of pork. And then when you use this skill in simulated universe or diversion universe, her attack can do true damage to the enemies 99% of the target that are lower than elites, then 30% of true damage to elites and bosses. Like come on, you guys have to see that come. Everyone may have this type of ability in a technique. Herta just had to have it. Now we just gotta wait and scroll them. And now we can move on to the traces. The first trait, after hitting an enemy that had the stack, Herta get 3 energy back, counting up to 5 times. And then also when you fully stack up the stacks by 42, you increase your ice dash by the skill by 50%, which is just good overall for energy regeneration and damage buffs. The second trait is interesting because it actually does encourage you to play more erudition characters with Herta because one, if you have at least 2 erudition characters in your party when you enter battle, Herta crit damage will be increased by 80%, which is absurd because that's just so much free subs that are free more than a body, like that's a lot of crit. But also if any of your erudition characters hit at least 3 enemies, they can also gain a stack to build up for Herta. And any attack exceeding that threshold can increase the amount of stacks you get to by 2, depending on how much instant they can hit something like Jade. I don't know if a follow attack can count for that. I would assume maybe yes. I don't think it would because even if you exceed it, you're only getting like 3 stacks at least. But I don't know if this talent like locks her away from having a support because maybe you can, maybe not. It depends because I have to see when she comes out. But I'm assuming a lot of people are just gonna place you with Jade and Herta or Vault if they don't have Jade. But the Jade stocks are about to go high for real because for one, that gives like Herta everything she wants. Erudition character, a character that also can be act like a buffer because Jade increases speed and also personal damage from Jade, so pretty solid overall. But I think it should be fine if you don't have it, like just use regular Herta Serval, especially about Islands. But we'll have to see. But since it did crit damage, there might be some argument to use something like Sunday or Robin possibly. But again, I have to see that for myself when she comes out. Alright, now this last one is interesting, but depending on how much stacks that is applied to the enemy, Herta gets 1% damage bonus, stacking up to 99%. Which sounds really absurd because I don't think you can fully stack this up. I bet you can probably get like 50 to 60% of that. 50% I know, the 60% can be generous, I have no clue. Probably in pure fiction or apocalyptic shadow when everything have full enemies on the field, maybe. But I know at least you're getting like 50% out of this, so that's just pretty good overall. And yeah, that was the Herta full kit at E0, and I'll be honest, it sounds really interesting. And looking at videos on her gameplay and stuff, like she was doing all sorts of damage, hell, even without her signatures. So this is a really promising character. And they recently buffed her in V3, so V4, maybe they might give her a slight buff or like a little rework, not sure. But for the people that like she, like they will be pretty satisfied, I think, in my opinion. Like, but when I thought I was like dead set just to go for Ugly and Lyco, but now I'm just tempted to go for the Herta and Lyco, and like I don't know what to do now. I'm very conflicted, but I'll probably make up my mind, but the Herta definitely seemed very compelling to me. But out of the easier kit, let's talk about her Lyco and then move on to Eidolons in a bit. Now we're talking about her signature Lyco, and this Lyco is so absurd. So you get 12 free crit rate, and then when the wearer of this Lyco uses their ultimate, their skill and ultimate damage get increased by 60%. Like that by itself is already crazy, but then when the wearer ultimate causes either 140 or above and consume their ultimate and consume their energy, they get a skill point back. I get a very strong Lyco if you want to vertically invest in your Herta. Now we can talk about her Eidolons, and her E1 seems pretty interesting because her stack get an additional 30% multiplier for the 2 targets with the highest amount of Herta stacks when you use Herta enhanced skill. And after you use out Herta enhanced skill, the stack she get on the enemy instead of going back to 1 based on how much stacks on the enemy between 10 or higher, instead of going back to 1, it just go to 10. So it just makes it more easier to apply the stacks on the enemy to get back to 42. It's a really strong E1 to kind of like bait you to kind of like keep wishing because you know how close it is from the E1. So if you do get it, pretty good. E2 is a freaking word salad, but essentially once you reach 42 stacks applied to the enemy, you have to gain one of her stacks on enhanced skills. So essentially you can use the enhanced skill another time, and when you're using her advanced skill, it can advance her by 50%. But then if you hit a target that has 42 of her stack, that 50% turns into 25%, she can advance herself forward. C2 is really strong, but then you got the C3, which is the skill and talent. C5 is the basic attack and the ultimate. C4 is really simple because for any character that's in the path of erudition, just get their speed increased by 12%. Not sure if Herta gets involved in that, I'm pretty sure she does, but for other erudition characters, Speed is king. And lastly, the C6 is kind of interesting, but essentially she got free unconditional 20% ice pen ratio, which is basically you can ignore 20% of their defense. And secondly, it increased the ultimate multipliers by a disgusting amount based on how much enemies on field. If there are 3 enemies on field, the multiplier increased by 140, 4 enemies to 50, and 5 enemies 400%. Because those multipliers are no joke, but probably you just see the multiplier in this in pure fiction. Some say in a part of the shadow when there's 5 enemies on the field, and some say in MOC when erudition character is the main focus in that MOC. Like it's high, but not the main focus of the build. So I'll probably recommend you go to either E1 or E2, but I would definitely recommend you prioritize the Lycon first, then go for Herta Eidolons. And my final thought is, yeah, I'm definitely conflicted now between her and Agalea. It's definitely gonna be a fight because all the characters look so visually pleased, especially the upcoming characters. Like, I don't know what to do most of the time. But what you guys gonna do? You're gonna pull for her or you're gonna skip her for the other characters? Let me know down in the comment section. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate you for sure. Merry Christmas Eve when it's go live on the 24th, or Merry Christmas depending on where you live. I hope you guys have a really good Christmas or do whatever the hell you want and have a good time. I'm probably gonna be busy a bit, so yeah, that's just life. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you like what you see or enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate all you guys' support. But with all that said, take care, love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.